and welcome back to the Unravel with Me podcast. My name is Mandy, and this is my podcast where I chat about all of my works in progress, my finished objects, anything knitting, crocheting. I'm sure there'll be crafty stuff along the way just because I like to try everything. But yeah, so let's get comfy. Let's start chatting and unravel about our past week. So I'm going to start with finished objects. My first finished object this week I am so excited about. It's my lamb. This is the lamb from Hardy Craft, and he is knit. I had some little hiccups remembering how to do the mattress stitch, so he is different in a couple places as I was figuring that out because I just did not feel like looking it up for some reason. This pattern was super easy to follow. I ended up having to make 5 legs because Enzo, our dog, ate one of them. So that took a little longer than expected. I worked on him on and off for about a week, and I had other stuff going on in between there. So he really isn't a terribly long process. Everything is knit flat, and so that helps. And then you add his little eyes, his nose. I'm not really happy with how I attached the ears. I've never knit an amigurumi before, so this whole process was new to me. I've made hundreds of crochet amigurumi items, but never knit. So I was very careful to pay attention to how everything laid out and the step-by-step process, which again was super easy. The instructions were good. I did not like a couple things in the pattern. Basically, like it told you where to put the eyes, like what rows to put them in, but it just said follow the pictures for placement on other things, which, I mean, it was pretty self-explanatory. His little front arms just go under the neck, his legs go on the side, and again, I could use a little practice on sewing the pieces, but overall, he's super adorable, and he'll be sitting on a shelf with his friends. And if you watched my last episode, I showed the friends, which is going to be the donkey, and I also have the Highland cow. So I'll be working on those. I'm hoping to make a video review. I made one for the lamb, but I really wasn't happy with the lighting and the sound quality of my video. I was doing it upstairs, which was fine, but there's a lot of background noise up there. In my craft room down here, it's quiet. It's in the back corner of the basement, and I recently purchased lights, so I'm hoping these can help out with the showing accurate colors and things like that. But upstairs I was using natural lighting, which was wonderful. We've had great weather here in Missouri, so I've had the windows open, the sun is shining, get a gentle breeze coming through, so it sounded perfect in theory, but as I started editing the video, I just wasn't happy with it. So that video got discarded, and I'm hoping to make one for either the Highland cow or the donkey. So keep an eye out for those in the future. I'm sure I'll talk about them on a podcast if I decide to do those. So anyway, finished object number 1 is my lamb. The second finished object are the February socks for Stitchin' with Yarn. These are the Peanut yarns following the Peanut Gang. Each month she's putting out yarns that represent one of the characters from Peanuts. So I used the vanilla sock pattern by Crazy Sock Lady for these. I do a size medium, and with this one I don't do the heel flap and gusset very often anymore. I really like the short row heels. They work well for myself and my daughter, and I have it memorized. It's quick for me, and it's easy to switch colors. The heel flap and gusset isn't difficult. I prefer the short row heels. I like the way they look, and they just work out well for me. So for these, my stats, I have my notes here. I did 50 for the leg. Let's start with the cuff. I did 11 of the lighter color and then 5. So I did 16 total of knit 2, purl 2 for the rib. And then 50 for the leg. I did the short row heel here. And I'll post a video tutorial of the one that I watched to learn. She was an excellent instructor and she shows how to do it in a different color as well. So super easy to follow along. And then I did, let's see, 55 for the foot. And again, these are all for my daughter Kinsley, and they've already been worn. I had her try them on as soon as I finished them and did not see them for a couple days. And I just caught them coming through the wash today. So I dried them real quick, and I do wash and dry all of our socks, and so far so good. Okay, so works in progress this week. I actually didn't work on it this week, but it's been 2 weeks since my last podcast, and I really did work on it a lot the previous week. So it's technically one that I've been working on throughout the break between episodes. So this is my own pattern that I'm writing up, and this is a blanket I am doing. And last time I was in the middle of the white, and so I have the first and second colors done, and I'm trying not to lose my needles here. I'm on to the third color. I've started fading it in here. So it's this darker purples and pinks, and the blues are in there. So again, I have colors 1 and 2 done. This is going to be a very, very nice size blanket. And my stats for this one, I am using a US size 11, 6mm. I'm using the ChowGoo interchangeable set on one of their ChowGoo cords. And I am using yarn by Expression Fiber Arts. And just to show my pattern that I'm writing, I bought 4 of each color of the yarn. So each one of these balls that I have 2 balls of each color. Each one has 2 skeins of yarn in it. So I have 16 skeins of yarn since there are 4 colors for this. And this is all that I have left over of color 1. And this is all I have left over of color number 2 to finish the pattern repeats the way I've done it. So there isn't a lot of waste left over. Oh, I guess I haven't. Oh, I'm not done with color 2 because I'm fading in color 3. So technically I'll have a little less than this on there. I have a couple more rows. I was like, why is this still attached? So that's where we're at with this one. But for the blanket itself, my plan was to use as much of the yarn as possible. And I'm really happy with how it's turning out. It's going to be a really nice blanket for the couch. It's going to be bigger than a lap blanket, more probably like a throw blanket, but I'll have finished measurements when I get through that. The last color after the pinks is these blue grays, and there is some white in there as well. So I'm hoping by the next episode I'll at least be started on the blue, but it really depends on that because right now I am on an obsessive kick of socks. So that's where we're going to continue on our works in progress. Let's see. Okay, so this project is in a bag by Daisy Bags, and it snaps shut, and then it has this little hook to hold it open. And the socks I'm working on are vanilla socks. I'm going to make these quite a bit longer than usual for myself. I usually make shorty socks, but I want to really see the stripes in this yarn. This yarn is called Laser Tag. It's self-striping and blacklight reactive. It's by BAH Yarns, and I got it at the Midwest Fiber Festival. Here is the skein of it all wound up. And I'm doing that on my Addy Rocket needles, which they're 10-inch circulars, and the working needle is pointier and longer. I have my little kitty cat tips on there right now, but the working tip is pointier and longer, and it just helps me get a grip. I also talked about these needles on my last video. Absolutely love them. I actually ordered a pair in I believe 3mm. I'm gonna have to look. They come today. Either 3mm or 3.25mm is usually what I use for DK weight socks. So I'm excited to try those out, and I really am happy with those. So I might order a couple more in different sizes. So I've got those. But those socks, I had a little knitting cast on party on Sunday, and I just cast everything on. I think I cast on 2 pairs of socks and a t-shirt. So these socks did not get a lot of work this week because I cast on the 1 socks and a t-shirt and I started a new blanket. That's what it was. I'm losing it. Yesterday, I did cast on a new pair of socks. These are DK weight, and they're the Peanuts April yarns. I skipped February because they were another pair of fingering weight, and I really felt like doing a pair of DK weight. And I actually finished. I started this yesterday morning, and I had a lot of knitting time in the afternoon. And I finished it all the way, completely through the toe. And then I took it off the needles, and after I Kitchenered up the toe, and I realized that I made them way too short. Wouldn't fit my foot. My daughter that I'm making all these socks for, her foot is actually a smidge bigger than mine now. Definitely won't fit her. And so today I put in these needles as lifelines, and I tore it back to before the decreases. So now I am remaking the end of this, but this DK weight yarn just goes so fast. Again, these yarns are from Stitchin' with Yarn. The April Peanuts character is Linus, and so we have this gorgeous blues and reds and browns and grays, and then this fun blue with black speckles that I'm just doing the heel and the cuff on. The toe will be the same color down here. So I'm hoping to get the second sock started tonight after my daughter's soccer game, but I'm doing these on US size 3. Well, they're 3.0 millimeter Hiya flyers. So if you're not familiar with flyers, you get 3 needles in a pack, and they're on this, they've got a short cord here, so they're flexible. And I really like these. So I do the front, I have a needle free. I do the back, I have a needle free. I do not like using double pointed needles where I have to use 3, 4, or 5. And well, I guess it would be 4 or 5, but 3 in the triangle circle area. I do not like using those. It's just too much. And even with these 2 anymore, now that I'm getting used to those 10-inch circulars and I don't have a big magic loop cord coming out, it's a lot going on in my fingers. So again, I'm excited to get my new 10-inch in the bigger size. So maybe I can see, I'm going to compare one sock to the next one and make sure that my gauge is the same. Otherwise, I might have to go back to the flyers just for that. I mean, they're fine. It's not a bad choice. I really do like them. I also don't like, with the flyers, they're pointy on one end and the other one is a little more blunt on the other end, and which is fine with the 10-inch circulars, because those are always, the pointy one is always in my right hand, the blunt one is always in my left. Well, when you're knitting with the flyers, you have your one free one, which looks like It must be, I thought I stuck it in the sock, but I must have set it down upstairs. But there's 3 of them. So you always have one working, and then this one, I'll work the stitches off of this one. So then this one will be free. And no matter how I think in my brain to grab it, I always end up lining it up with the blunt end to work. And it works, but I need the pointy end. So it's just a lot of maneuvering and getting those flipped around. But again, I like them. I just really prefer the 10-inch circulars right now. That's my go-to. So that project is in a little Della Q bag. It's so cute. It's perfect for a pair of socks using 2 colors. I also, when I was doing 2 at a time, it was perfect because I could snap the middle, have a yarn coming out here, a yarn coming out here. I could have my 2 little skeins sitting there, and then I could just flip the whole bag, and it works really nice. I have a pair of scissors down the side, and I know the pattern, so I can put it on my wrist and out the door I go. So this has been great, and clearly I was able to get a lot done yesterday. So that was one work in progress. My final work in progress is actually a blanket that I started months and months ago, but I actually stopped for a while, and now I tore it out the other day and started a whole new pattern. I was originally doing the bounce pattern, and I still have the pattern here. I was doing the bounce blanket by Tin Can Knits, which has these ripples, and it's really, really adorable. Whitney from the Moon Glow Yarn Company does a lot of her colorways in this pattern. It shows them off so nicely, breaks it up with the white color, but it wasn't something that I can work on right now in this season of my life. This is May. We're about to hit summertime, so all of the end of the school year activities, there's lots of finals to study for, final projects, research papers, and activities, soccer games. We have a lot going on right now, and my niece is getting married, so we've had wedding things going on, and there's just too much going on, and I have been so sad not able to use my yarn, but I just couldn't follow the pattern. I've done everything to make it easy for myself. The pattern is not difficult, but each row is different. And so I would finish a row and put it down and then not get started on the correct next row. And it's something I've had troubles with a lot of patterns I've done in the past, and I just really wasn't willing to struggle through it right now. So I'm putting that pattern on hold. I have 2 advents coming this year for Christmas, and so I'm hoping to use one of those with that pattern when we're stuck in the house during the winter, when it's cold, cozied up on the couch, and I have a Hallmark movie on or some Christmas movie I've seen a million times that I can easily follow a pattern. So anyway, that pattern, setting it to the side, and I decided to do the Bits and Bobs pattern by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. So same idea to display the colors, but it is this gorgeous little rib looking knit, and the pattern is on Ravelry, and so far I've made it through most of the 4 pinks. I'm about to Enzo's yawning. I'm about to add in the oranges, but this is going to be so cute. Right now it's being held on by my little cow needle stoppers, and this pattern is so easy. Every row, it's a 2-row repeat, but once you get going in your row, it's basically the same as the row before. So it's super easy to follow along. I can help with homework, I can help listen to school drama, I can watch TV shows, engage in conversation, and I'm really happy with how it's turning out because these are the colors that I get to work through in this blanket. So right now I'm on this color here. So then the orange, then we get to go to the green, and then up to the teals, the blues, and the purples. So it's really motivating to get to the next row. I was able to do a row, not a row, but a section, watching a couple episodes of Tracker the other day. My husband and I, the past couple weeks, we started Tracker on, is it on Paramount Plus? I'm not sure what streaming service it's on, but we started watching Tracker from season 1, and we're both hooked. So every night around 9-10 o'clock, we start a couple episodes, and I started this blanket the other day, and it's such a brainless activity to keep my hands busy and stay awake while I'm watching the show. So I'm loving every minute of that, and I am so motivated, and I can't wait to get to the next color. It actually looks like I'm on the white right now. So I can actually cut off the pink as I'm looking at it close. I do have a row of the white done. So that's exciting. Maybe after I do some socks tonight, I'll get some more colors put in. So hopefully I'll have some progress done on that. I'm hoping to get more regular on Instagram as well. I always forget to post pictures, and I really need to get better about that and share updates so you guys can follow along through the week and not have to wait for my episodes. My goal was to have episodes every Tuesday, and that just hasn't worked out this past week. If the other video hadn't been such poor quality, I think I could have still done a video and had it out for Tuesday, but we've just had a crazy schedule that it just wasn't right yet for the editing and things like that. But I'm hoping to have this episode up tonight, so maybe we can have some Friday night episodes. With the summer, we should be calmer, not having stuff throughout the weeks, and Kinsley's gone a lot during the summer with camp and activities and things like that. So I should be able to get myself into a routine before the school year starts. So that is the plan. And my final thing for this week really isn't, it is a work in progress because I have to work on it, but Kinsley brought me one of her socks I made her last year, and it has a hole in the toe, which is ironic that I was thinking about how I was going to fix this sock the other day when she told me about it. The puppy must have gotten it, and I was like, I don't know exactly how I don't think I can patch it. It's too big. But what I am going to do while I'm down here is go through my scraps and find this green. And I'm going to do what I did on that sock. It was like I was prepping myself for today. But that sock last night that I, made it way too short, I had the idea to throw in a lifeline and back it up. Well, I think I'm going to do the same for this sock. And even though these are pretty worn, this one isn't as bad. So, it'll wear out on its own. It'll wear equally, I'm assuming. Like, these are pretty worn out. She absolutely loves knitted socks. So she wears uniforms to school every day. And the socks are where she can show her personality. And, she went through a phase, and she still loves her Nike socks. That's what all the kids wear, their white, tall Nike socks. And she has really gotten on a kick of wearing knitted socks. I just can't keep up with the socks. Are you a little tired? I think Mike just got home from work, so Enzo's pouting he's locked in my room. So we're gonna wrap this up pretty quick. But I can't keep up making socks as quick as she needs to wear them. So hopefully over the summer I can knock some socks out so she can show her personality. She'll wear her socks with her Birkenstocks or, whatever shoes of the day. I used to make her strictly shorty socks as well, so I could get them off the hooks a lot quicker. But now she wants taller socks for when she wears her high tops and things like that. So anyway, I love that she loves the socks so much, so I will continue knitting them. I just need to get a little faster and stay focused so I can finish them. But that's all for this week. Thank you so much for joining me and unraveling with me. And hopefully we have a productive week and we come back next week with a brand new episode and lots to share. And please tell me in the comments what your favorite hooks are and needles. If you knit socks, if you crochet, things like that. I have my favorites, and maybe I'll do a my favorite things video and share some of yours as well. I love trying new things. I like hearing other people's opinions, and that's how I've found the ones that I love right now is from suggestions of other people. So I'd love to hear what you guys think, but subscribe and go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Make sure and subscribe so that I come up every week when my videos post, and you'll be alerted so you can follow along. So until then, have a wonderful week and see you next time.